Hi, I'm Marianne Waldron, and I have the great pleasure today of sharing some business lessons from cooking with you. The business recipes are food, and business and recipes together are food for the soul. I think if you can actually have some business colleagues for dinner and share a great meal, you can actually really create a lot of great rapport and really have a fantastic relationship, especially if you're trying to start a new relationship where you might be thinking about partnering with them to do something. This is a really great way of doing it, sharing a meal together and, of course, having a great meal. Now, the recipe I'm going to teach you about is Katharine Hepburn zucchini soup. Katharine Hepburn zucchini soup recipe was given to me about 25 years ago when I had a kitchen tea. Well, instead of a kitchen tea, I had a recipe tea because I wanted to get some great recipes. And this is the best recipe that I own in my collection, and it's so good. And I recommend that anyone who's having a group of people over for dinner to cook it. Now, I've spent about 10,000 hours making this soup over the last 25 years, not 25,000 years, but anyway, I feel that old today. It's a really, really good recipe. Malcolm Gladwell, he's one of my favourite authors. In his book, The Outliers, he talks about people like Bill Gates and Steve Jobs who had early access to computers, and they spent 10,000 hours at it, and they became overnight success stories because of it, because they had early resources and early access to this technology. Same with the Beatles. They spent 10,000 hours in Hamburg, playing for 4 years or for a couple of years before they became an overnight success when they went back to the UK and became a worldwide sensation. So I'm an expert at making this soup. I'm a master of making Katharine Hepburn zucchini soup. Now, some of the things I think it's really important for people to know is that you need to cut the zucchini up small and nice slices, and also the spring onions. Now, one thing you can do, and I always change spring onions, is I use leeks because I think the flavour is a little bit nicer. Now, what you do is you put zucchinis and onions in separate pots and you brown them. The recipe says don't brown them, just sort of get them a little bit cooked. But no, I like them brown, and I think that adds extra flavour. So after you've done that, you combine both the onions and the zucchini into a separate pot. And this is what you might call in business collaboration. And in collaboration, if you've actually got the right partners together, I often find that 2 and 2 can equal 72, particularly because you have two great ingredients, two great minds working together, and you can solve some really great problems and have a really great relationship and have great clients who are very happy with you. One of the secret things to this recipe is getting the foundation item of the menu in the recipe, and that is the chicken stock. The chicken stock you'll notice here is organic, and I've chosen this one. You can choose any of them. I've chosen this because my children are vegan, and this is not really real chicken, but it does taste yummy. The flavour is great. One of the most important things are the secret ingredients behind the flavour. Gives that X factor, that extra oomph that makes this whole actually beautiful entree stand out, and that is the curry powder, the salt, and the cayenne pepper that you put in, and that's yummy. Then you also, of course, have to have the right tools. Like in business, if you don't have the right tools, quite often you don't get a great outcome. Now, the most important tool when you're making this soup is to have your trusty bar mix handy to actually mix everything up and to get it to the right consistency for the perfect texture. After you've done that, just before you serve, I add in that extra little bit of cayenne pepper. And notice I've got a little silver heart spoon here, because anything you do when you cook, you must cook with love. Like in business, if you do what you love, you end up generally doing a fantastic job where everybody loves working with you. Ta-da! Here you have the most beautiful soup. And if you accompany it with a piece of bread, and you're in heaven. Everybody loves this recipe. I would like to thank Helen Barton for inspiring me to do this video or webinar today and also provide this recipe. I was having dinner with her and she was eating my zucchini soup, my Catherine Hepburn zucchini soup, and she asked for the recipe, and so I decided to do this webinar to hand it over to her. I've just actually spent 10,000 hours over the last couple of years working with Helen at her Insight University, where she has been teaching me to be a master of archetypes. And the wonderful thing about that is that I have learnt so much about myself, and I've learnt so much about other people because I have taken lots of people through this program who actually transform their lives. They align their personality, their emotions, their mind, and they get themselves sorted out and they're on their career purpose. I've seen so many people get unstuck, and it is the most wonderful program, all from Helen's 30,000 hours or probably 100,000 hours of life experience that she's put into a wonderful program. And I'm very, very, very fortunate to be a facilitator of that program now. Two other people who were with us at that dinner a few weeks ago who also tried my yummy recipe were Anita Pavlovic, who is an accountant and also runs she's a specialist and does alignment strategies and restructuring, and also Julie Cummings, who runs Hatch Property. Both of these people are great cooks, and I understand one of them is going to give me a recipe to try in the future, which is for dessert, and the other one will be for a main meal, and perhaps I'll share them with you. Now, here's the recipe. Please enjoy it. Please share it with your friends. And the wonderful, great thing about this recipe is that you can actually make it and immediately freeze it because you can bring it out later when you're ready. Thank you for enjoying this time with me today to share my recipe. If you want to know about my archetype program or any mentoring or just get in contact for a chat, please, here are my contact details. Have a great day.